The crystalline doors of the Galactic Council's embassy on Earth slid open with a whisper. An Ambassador Zereth of the Vrellan Consortium stepped through. Her iridescent scales caught the afternoon sunlight, casting rainbow patterns across the marble floor. She was early, 30 minutes early, to be precise, but punctuality was a virtue among her species. Better early than late, she thought, adjusting the translator device at her throat. The reception hall was empty except for a young human woman seated behind a curved desk. Her name tag read, Rose Martinez, Diplomatic Assistant. Rose's dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, and she wore the standard Earth diplomatic uniform. She looked up from her computer screen, her brown eyes widening slightly at the ambassador's unexpected arrival. Ambassador Zereth, Rose said, standing quickly. You're early. Yes, Zerath interrupted, her translator converting her clicks and hums into flawless English. I hope this does not inconvenience you. I wished to review the preliminary documents before the negotiation. Rose's fingers flew across her keyboard. Of course, Ambassador. Please, have a seat in the waiting area. I'll notify. A door behind Rose's desk burst open, and a tall human male rushed out, his tie askew and his shirt partially on. Alex Chen, the lead human negotiator for the trade agreement, looked harried. He carried a stack of data pads and physical papers, his attention divided between them and his wrist communicator, which was beeping insistently. Rose, did the Alex stopped mid-sentence, seeing the alien diplomat. His eyes went wide. Ambassador, you're not supposed to be here for another. I arrived early, Zereth said smoothly, her head tilting in what her species considered a polite acknowledgement. I understand if you need time to prepare. No, it's fine, Alex said, though sweat was beginning to bead on his forehead. He set the materials down on Rose's desk with trembling hands. Just give me 5 minutes to. That's when they all heard it. A soft whimpering sound came from behind Rose's desk, then a louder whine, then an unmistakable bark. Zereth's head swiveled toward the source of the noise, her vertical pupils narrowing. What is that sound? Rose's face went pale. Alex froze. Another bark, more insistent this time. I can explain, Alex started. The whimpering intensified, joined by scratching sounds. Ambassador Rose said quickly, if you could just wait 1 moment, but Zereth was already moving around the desk, her diplomatic training overriding her curiosity control. What she saw made her stop completely. In a small enclosure behind Rose's desk was a creature Zereth had seen in Earth's databases, a canine, a puppy, to be specific. It was small, golden-furred, with oversized paws and eyes that seemed too large for its head. It was whining and pawing at the enclosure walls, clearly distressed. A pet, Zerath said, confused. In the diplomatic hall. Please, Ambassador, Alex said, his voice strained. I can explain everything, but right now, the puppy's whining turned into a high-pitched keening sound. Alex's jaw clenched. He glanced at Rose, who gave him the smallest nod. Then the human diplomat did something that would echo through the Galactic Council for years to come. He turned to Ambassador Z, one of the most powerful diplomats in the known galaxy, and said firmly, shut up. Zereth's scales rippled in shock. In 300 years of diplomatic service, no one had ever just pleased, Alex continued, holding up a hand. Don't say anything. Don't move. Just be completely silent for the next 3 minutes. Before Zerath could process the unprecedented rudeness, Alex and Rose sprang into action with practiced efficiency. Rose opened the enclosure while Alex pulled out a small medical kit from a drawer. They worked together in absolute silence, their movements synchronized. That's when Zereth saw the seizure. The puppy's small body went rigid, then began convulsing. Rose held it gently but firmly while Alex checked a timer on his wrist. 90 seconds. 120. The entire time, neither human spoke. They communicated through glances and slight hand movements, their focus absolute. Zereth's translator device picked up Alex's barely audible counting under his breath. When he reached 180 seconds, the puppy's convulsions began to ease. Rose stroked its head gently, still silent, until the small creature went limp in her hands, breathing heavily but alive. Only then did Alex look up at Zereth. Her name is Luna, he said quietly. She has epilepsy. Loud noises, especially unfamiliar sounds like translator devices, can trigger seizures. We've learned that during an episode, any additional sensory input makes it worse. Silence is crucial. Rose was now cradling the exhausted puppy against her chest. She belonged to Ambassador Wong's daughter, she added softly. She died in a transport accident 3 weeks ago. Luna was going to be euthanized because of her condition. The medical care is expensive and time-consuming. Ambassador Wong is still on medical leave, grieving. Alex and I have been taking shifts caring for her during your duty hours, Zareth asked, her initial offense melting into something else entirely. We don't have anywhere else to keep her where she can be monitored constantly, Alex said. He ran a hand through his hair. I know it's unprofessional. I know it violates about 15 different protocols. If you want to file a complaint with the council, how long have you been doing this? Zareth interrupted. Rose and Alex exchanged glances. 3 weeks, Rose admitted. Every day. We've missed sleep, rearranged our schedules, spent our own credits on her medication. The ambassador's daughter, she was only 10 years old. When we heard Luna would be put down, Zareth was silent for a long moment. In the Vrelen consortium, efficiency was paramount. Resources were allocated based on productivity. The idea of sacrificing professional standing, personal time, and financial resources for a damaged animal that served no purpose would be considered irrational at best, insane at worst. But watching Rose gently stroke the now sleeping puppy, seeing the dark circles under Alex's eyes, understanding that these humans had been maintaining this secret vigil while negotiating one of the most important trade agreements in Earth's history. The negotiation, Zirov said slowly. You have been conducting it while also caring for this creature. The agreement you proposed last week, the one my analysts said was surprisingly generous to both parties, showing unusual insight into Vrelen needs, you drafted that while sleep-deprived and stressed. Alex shrugged uncomfortably. We do what we have to do. We do what's right, Rose corrected softly. Zareth felt something shift in her understanding. She had studied humans for decades, read countless reports about their wars, their conflicts, their seemingly chaotic nature. But this was something the reports had never quite captured. Humans didn't just fight for survival. They didn't just compete for resources. They sacrificed their own comfort, their own advancement, for creatures that could give nothing back. They honored the grief of colleagues by taking on impossible burdens. They did what was right even when it was inefficient, illogical, and potentially corrupt. I will tell you what I am going to do, Zareth said, her scales shifting to a warm amber color that indicated respect among her people. I am going to return to my ship. I will come back in exactly 30 minutes, at our scheduled appointment time, and I will have forgotten everything I saw here. Alex's eyes widened. Ambassador, however, Zareth continued, I will be recommending to the consortium that we triple our initial trade offer. Any species that values compassion over protocol, that chooses the difficult right over the easy wrong, that protects the weak even at cost to themselves. She paused, looking at Luna sleeping peacefully in Rose's arms. That is a species we want as close allies, not mere trading partners. As she walked toward the exit, Zareth turned back one more time, and Mr. Chen, the next time you need to tell an ambassador to shut up, perhaps add a please. Alex laughed, the tension finally breaking. Yes, Ambassador, I'll remember that. The crystalline door slid shut behind Zareth. She stood outside for a moment, her translator device recording a personal note that would never appear in official reports. Today I learned that humanity's greatest strength is not their technology, their resilience, or their creativity. It is their refusal to let efficiency override empathy. The galaxy needs more of this, not less. Inside, Rose smiled down at the sleeping puppy while Alex finally straightened his tie. They had 30 minutes to prepare for the most important negotiation of their careers. It would be enough. It had to be. After all, they were human. The end.